Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. In this video we're going snow foam and Mundo, and we're going to be comparing 9 market leading snow foam products with the aim of providing you some recommendations. Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. So snow foam pre-washes that you put in a snow foam lance, attach to your pressure washer, spray over the car, allow them to dwell, and then rinse them off typically with pressure and remove as much dirt as you can prior to going in and doing the contact wash with a mitt and a normal bucket shampoo. What are in these products, guys? Well, typically they are rinsable surfactants and detergents. The formulations vary. Some are balanced and pH neutral, some are stronger alkalines. Some of the typical components that you can find in these snow foams are sulfonic acid, sodium salts, alcohol ethoxylates, declamine oxide, all sorts of fatty alcohols, glycol ethers, stuff like that. Even more caustic alkalines like caustic soda are in some of them. So there's big variations in the formulations and how they work. So now we're going to get stuck into the actual test footage of this, and I'll come back at the end and then give you my conclusions on these products. Before we do, the products in this test are Bonnymans Blizzard, Adams Ultrafoam, Chemical Guys Honeydew, Bilt Hamber Autofoam, Autobright Direct Magifoam, Foam, Autoglym Polar Blast, Finesse, Avalanche, and Valet Pro Advanced Neutral Snow Foam.
Test 1, foaming and cling. All of the products are applied to wet panels at the manufacturer recommended ratios with the same lance mixture concentration setting. As you can see, Autobrite Magifoam was the foamiest and clung the best, followed by Autoglym Polar Blast, then Foam, closely followed by Bonnymans Blizzard. As well as this 8-minute time lapse you're seeing here, all of the products have been tested on cars normally over the last 6 months, and the results on foaming and cling are as follows. Test 2, cleaning power. A dirt simulator consisting of water, solvent, soot, mud and oil was applied to sections of a test panel and left to fully dry. All of the snow foams were then mixed down to a 5% product with 95% water ratio so that we had a standard comparison of pound to pound performance. One by one the products were poured over a section of the panel and left to dwell for 5 minutes. We then used a consistent low pressure rinse to observe the ability of these products to break down the simulated dirt. The following 5 products failed to significantly aid the removal of the dirt simulator from the panel under a low pressure rinse. Chemical Guys Honeydew, Adams Ultrafoam, Foam, Autoglym Polar Blast and Finesse Avalanche. The following 2 products had a slightly improved impact on the simulated dirt film. Valet Pro Advanced Neutral Snow Foam and Bonnymans Blizzard. Finally, Autobright Direct Magifoam and Bilt Hamber Autofoam both had a significantly improved ability to break down the simulated dirt film, but out of the 2, the Bilt Hamber product clearly performed the best. Just for shits and giggles, I took some of the Bilt Hamber that was left over and poured it on the dirt film that remained from the other products. As soon as the footprint of the Bilt Hamber product passes over a section of dirty panel, you can see it have an immediate effect. But then when you rinse it, you can actually see where the product has fallen and where it hasn't. Whatever surfactant they're using in this product is extremely powerful and has a really impressive cleaning effect. As an extra step, I wiped over all of the sections of the panel after they'd been cleaned with these products, just so I could observe the amount of dirt simulator that was taken off. Didn't really learn any additional information beyond the fact that the Bilt Hamber Autofoam and Magifoam products perform the best. Test 3. Corrosive Effect on mild steel. I wanted to observe how much these products promoted oxidisation and rusting in ferrous steel components. I'll talk about why that's potentially relevant at the end of this video. But for this test, we covered a section of mild steel with the product in a neat format and then observed the rate of oxidisation over the next few days. The footage you're about to see is 24 hours after the test was started. The control piece was wiped over with water. Test for value for money. Based on cost per wash, used at average recommended usage ratio to nearest 5 litre offering size available. In first place with a ridiculous price tag of £4.95, yes, £4.95 for 5 litres of this product, is Bonnymans Blizzard, which has an approximate cost per wash of around 10p based on a PIR of 1 to 100. In second place is Chemical Guy's Honeydew, which costs around $29.99 for a US gallon, which is 3.78 litres, but has a cost per wash of around 18p. The instructions on this bottle advise that you should use between 1 to 2 ounces in the Chemical Guy's litre foam cannon. So in a 500ml wash, you're typically going to use around 23 millilitres of product, according to their instructions. However, at this ratio, the product is nowhere near strong enough, but I'm doing the test based on the manufacturer guidelines, so it's fallen second, but there's something a little bit dodgy with this. Next up in third place is Bilt Hamber Autofoam, which costs a fantastic $16.95 for 5 litres. If used at around 1% PIR, I calculated the cost of the wash to be 34p. Next up, Autobright Direct Magifoam, costing £27 for 5 litres and an approximate cost per wash of 38p based on the average usage ratio between a range. Then we have Finesse Avalanche, costing £29.95 for 5 litres and an approximate cost per wash of 42p. After that we have Foam, which costs £37.95 for 4 litres, but when used at its average mix ratio of around 1 to 10, it yields 48p a wash. Next we have Autoglym Polar Blast, which costs £16.95 for 2.5 litres. And based on a usage ratio of around 1 to 5, it costs 54p per wash. In second to last place is Valet Pro Advanced Neutral Snow Foam, costing around $28.95 for 5 litres, but with a usage in the lance ratio of around 1 to 3, the price per wash is around 72 pence. And finally, Adams Ultra Foam, costing around $59.99 for 1 US gallon, which is 3.78 litres, which yields an approximate cost per wash of 81p. And finally, guys, just for observational purposes, I've taken a reading of all of the pH levels of these particular products, and you can see them in the list below just for your reference. And now back over to the studio where your hostess with the mostess, Mr. John De Who, will finish off this video.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm just going to give you a quick summary and roundup of all of these particular products and my thoughts on them. First of all, we've got the two American kind of car soaps, the Adams Ultra Foam and the Chemical Guys Honeydew product. Now, for me, both of these products are primarily contact wash shampoos. You can feel the slickness and the lubrication in them. A quick summary of them is that the Chemical Guys Honeydew is cheaper than the Adams Ultra Foam, and it's a good contact wash shampoo, nice and foamy and everything you'd want from a shampoo. When they instruct you to use it as a pre-wash, they tell you to put 1 to 2 ounces in their snow foam cannon, which I believe holds 1 litre. That is not enough product of this shampoo to make enough foam with the pressure that I've got from my pressure washer. In fact, it's quite watery and loose, and it doesn't have enough impact or much impact at all on kind of road film and stuff like that. The Adams product is 4 times as concentrated approximately as the Honeydew, I believe. And the Adams product gets you to use 3 to 4 ounces of product, which is a lot more. And you will get quite a high level of foaming, especially if you've got a more powerful system than I've got. However, both of these products, I believe, work best as contact wash shampoos, not products that you allow to dwell and then rinse off to break down road film. So I would suggest that if you do want to use these products and you don't want a dedicated snow foam product, these are best utilised by spraying them onto the car and then working them with a mitt if you want to use them that way, or in a bucket. But I wouldn't use them myself as pre-washes that I'm using to soak out the dirt. They are very good, slick, sudsy contact wash shampoos, but not powerful enough as a pre-wash in my opinion. Next up, guys, just out of shot here, we have 3 products which I think are all functional and all decent snow foam products. You have the Polar Blast from Autoglym, you have the Geon Foam, and you have the Finesse Avalanche. The price per wash of them isn't significantly different. Autoglym advise you use it around 1 to 5. Geon advise it around 1 to 5 to 1 to 15. I think you want to be closer to 1 to 5. And Avalanche, I think, advise 1 or 2 inches per litre. You know, in your lance, they all do their ratios slightly differently. They all have one thing in common, that typically to get the cleaning power out of them, you'll want to let them dwell for as long as they can before you blast them off, and then you should see an improvement with the dirt coming off of the car. The Geon Foam one is great at revealing the kind of true hydrophobic nature. So like if you've got a ceramic coated car and it's blocked up and you're not seeing much repellency, this does seem to free it up quite nicely, but it doesn't have massive impact on heavy road film like some of the other products in this test. And I would say the same about the Auto Finesse and the Polar Blast. They're all acceptable levels of cleaning power, but not as good as some of the other products in the test. Out of the 3, the Polar Blast and the Geon Foam definitely have thicker foam. You know, they're just foamier products, but they still have a good level of cleaning. The Auto Finesse one, you'll need a bit more pressure to get that foam going with it, but it's got a decent level of foam there. You can always chuck a little bit more in. So we've got 3 decent kind of products that I'm reasonably happy with in the kind of mid-order of this test. Next up, guys, I want you to put a Wildcard in here from a kind of chemical supplier, a kind of manufacturer that, you know, sell to the kind of trade and all that sort of stuff. The reason I wanted to do it is because it is dirt cheap at £4.95 for 5 litres of this. At 100 to 1 PIR, you are going to use a little bit more product than some of the other ones, but still by far has the lowest cost per wash. This product had a decent amount of cleaning power. Forget about the cleaning power test simulator. Just from using it in the last kind of 6 months, I had it, or not quite 6 months to be fair with this particular product, but I had it in the top 5 of all these products and thought it had a decent amount of cleaning power. And it did quite well in the test simulator on that very thick simulated dirt, which some of the other products weren't able to affect. So what you do get for your money is quite a potent product in my opinion. You also get a reasonably high foaming product. So, you know, if you're in the trade, guys, this product's got quite a lot going for it and the price is phenomenal. What's bad about it? Well, it's not scented. I'm not too fussy about that, but you can smell the fishy surfactants in there. But I probably don't care, but, you know, it'd be nice if it had a good scent in it, I suppose. I bought it as Bonnymans kind of Blizzard, and it turned up with the Bonnymans lazerfoam on it, but I pinged them an email and they just said, yeah, we sell it, it's the same product basically. We've had it called that for ages, but we now call it this. So they sent me the other label and I printed that off. So if you do buy it, it might turn up in a kind of lazerfoam bottle. Again, doesn't really bother me, but some of the other brands, you know, couldn't do that, you know, without it getting kind of noticed and people saying, hang on a minute. But quite simply, I'm not buying this, or I wouldn't buy this because of the bling. I'd buy it just because of the value for money, and especially if you're in the trade. There is one other consideration with this, is that it contains caustic soda or sodium hydroxide, which it's going to be at very low concentrations, and then you're further watering down when you use it in the snow foam lance. But for something I'm using week in and week out on my car, I'd just rather it didn't have that component. But for something in the trade where you're using it on a, you know, you're washing different cars every week, it's probably going to help to clean. So I wouldn't rule it out because of that. This is a decent product at phenomenal kind of value, and it's worth just trying very cheap, affordable products yourself to see how they compare to some of your kind of favourite ones. Would I go and buy this over some of the other ones that I'm going to talk about next? No, I prefer them, and even though they're more expensive, I'll pay that money. But I'm really glad I put this in the test, and it's done pretty well. Next up, guys, is the old Valet Pro Advanced Neutral Snow Foam. Now, this snow foam is not particularly foamy, and I bet you Valet Pro get hundreds of emails from people that try it and say, it's not foaming, it's not foaming. And it probably isn't designed to. In fact, interestingly enough, they've just released a new snow foam that is like got something to do with foam in the name, and it'll be a thick foamy one, because they're probably sick of all the people that are emailing them saying it doesn't foam. It doesn't really matter. This product is around just under 30 quid for 5 litres, which is reasonable value. However, you're supposed to use it around 1 to 3 in the lance, which is using quite a lot of product, probably the most in this test. When you use it at that sort of ratio, it does have a good cleaning power, really good cleaning power actually, and a good effect on road film. And its pound for pound cleaning power in the dirt simulator was up there in the kind of top 4, where it was just starting to affect that that simulated dirt. But when you're using it at a much higher concentration, as it's designed to do, it does have a good impact on road film, this particular one, and quite a quick impact as well. So I've always quite liked this product. So it's done reasonably well in this test. But if you like a thick, foamy snow foam, you're not going to like this product because it's not thick and foamy, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Next up, guys, and coming second in this test and really actually impressing me, is the Autobright Direct Magifoam. Now, this is the third bottle of this that I've had. Before I even had the channel, I'd had a litre of this product and I used it. I remember hearing a lot of people saying, this stuff is rubbish at cleaning, it doesn't clean very well. And that bloody put me off it did. I heard all that thinking, oh, well, it seems all right to me. And then I didn't buy it after that. And then I wanted to get a snow foam lance, and I brought the Autobright Direct snow foam lance, and they were doing a deal where they threw in 5 litres of the Magifoam. That, you know, if you did the deal, it was really cheap to get the Magifoam, so I just bought it. And I worked my way through that 5 litres of it, and I come to the conclusion that this stuff, as well as being thick and foamy, was actually quite a powerful pre-wash and had a good impact on road film. Even they advise you use it around 1 to 10 or 1 inch in your snow foam lance with a maximum of 2 inches. When you get closer to 2 inches, it gets very foamy and the cleaning power gets a little bit more noticeable. But I always thought this stuff had quite decent cleaning power, and pound for pound, when I did the dirt simulation test, it was the only other one apart from the Bilt Hamber that had an instant effect on that thick kind of dirt and oil and solvent that are dried on the panels. So I believe they're using quite powerful components in this particular product. But for all the people that love the thick foamy thing, which is quite a few people, you're also going to like the way the product looks. Note, any product which tends to foam thick and cling well and all that sort of stuff, that foam, it's got more foam booster and more foam stabilizer in it. That means when the foam comes off the car, that foam is also going to stick around on the driveway for longer. So, if it's foamy, you're going to have more foam on your driveway, and some people don't like that. So that goes with the Autoglym and the Geon and this one. I just thought I'd mention that. Why hasn't this product won the test? And it could have won, actually. It could have won. It's not a bargain. It's around about 27 quid for 5 litres, which is a good bulk price. Its litre price at 15 quid is very expensive, and its 500ml price at £10 is very expensive. So I'd recommend you buy 5 litres of this stuff if you like it, where you can pick up a good price. And I know Autobright Direct do lots of good deals and stuff, so you can probably beat that price, but it's not mega cheap, is it? It does also say that it contains a caustic component. I found an old version of the SDS kicking around, which said it's got sodium hydroxide in it. Now, again, like I said with the Bonnymans, that particular component, I'd rather it wasn't in there on something I'm using on my car week in, week out. But it would be wrong of me to not put this product in second place because of how well it performs and regardless of the tests and all that sort of stuff, just using it, I've had really good results from this stuff, and I think it's a good product. And I would recommend it to people if you like the things that I've specifically said. So it's done really well in this test, and the cleaning power is good. You are using less of it than some of these other products. The Bilt Hamber one we're going to talk about in a second, which has insane cleaning power, but you use a lot less of it. So maybe that's why a lot of people are saying that it doesn't clean very well, but in my opinion, it's a strong, powerful, foaming pre-wash. Very powerful, in fact. Next up, guys, the winner of this test. Yes, it's Bilt Hamber Autofoam. First up, let's get rid of who's not going to like it. And there are people that criticise this. The thing that I hear most often is I put it on my car and it didn't foam. It doesn't work. And they're basing how it works on how well it foams. And with these particular products, that is not the thing to look out for. These surfactants are there to kind of break down and allow the kind of dried film of dirt on your car to mix with the water and then be kind of flushed off the car under rinse. That's their function. The surfactants they're using in this product are so powerful and so fast acting. It has such a noticeable impact on road film, this particular product, and it doesn't contain anything nasty. It's biodegradable. It also inhibits rust, which is so important for me because I use these pre-washes and they get under the scuttle, they splatter onto the engine bay components where there's metal hinges and brackets and stuff like that that's made of steel that can rust. I use them on the brakes, I use them in the wheel arches where there are ferrous components, I use them on the underside of the car where you've got mild steel exhausts, various nuts and bolts that might be kind of steel or whatever, and clamps and stuff like that. So it's important for me for a pre-wash to be powerful and to inhibit corrosion in steel. Might not be important for you, which is fine, but it is for me, so that's why I've included this particular corrosive effect on steel in this particular test. Note that the alkaline products, Magifoam and Blizzard, were also very good at inhibiting corrosion on steel components. In fact, months after those 3 particular products, there's still no rust on that bit of mild steel, and the control panel, which had water on it, is kind of got corrosion on it now. So they actually inhibit rust in ferrous components, which is important to me. Does this product wipe out your protection on your car? No, it doesn't. It reveals the protection. It frees up the hydrophobic performance of whatever protection you're using. Back in the day, if we wind the clock back, say 10 years, the majority of people were still kind of using paste waxes on cars that had less detergent resistance. And then there was a lot of a thing made about pH neutral kind of products, which are safer on your protection. Nowadays, these protection products, you have options out there with massive detergent resistance and stuff like that. I would imagine that on a paste wax there must be some consequence to the power of this, but I can't measure it, so I don't notice this kind of stripping off my protection or anything like that. In fact, I notice it showing me the protection a lot better, so it's good on that front as well. The product is also cheap, guys. I have heard people say, well, you've got to use a ton of it compared to other products. You actually don't. Pound for pound, it is still more powerful and fast acting than any of these other products when we all use it at a fixed ratio. When we're doing a comparison, we have to use things at a fixed ratio. Okay, when you're using them normally, then you follow the manufacturer's instructions. At fixed ratios, it is more powerful than other products. It doesn't need the dwell time to have that impact. In fact, in the summer, when there's hardly any road film on your car and it's more dust, you can even go below the Bilt Hamber recommended PIR, you know, whiz some onto the panel, leave it a couple of minutes and blast it off and it will have done its thing. On heavier road film, it's still very fast acting. I typically find I don't need to go much beyond 1% PIR with this, although you can go a little bit higher, maybe in the middle of winter if you've got really thick road film that has dried on somehow, and you want to max out, you can go beyond 1% PIR. Even when you need that kind of intense cleaning power, it doesn't need to dwell as long as the other products, so it can go on, you can wait a few minutes, you can blast it off and it rinses off the car really nice. Ultimately, the thing I want from a pre-wash is I want a cleaning product. I want a product that's effective of getting most dirt off of the car before I go in and do the contact wash. That's the most important thing for me with a pre-wash, not how thick and foamy it is, with respect. The problem is for the brands is, what do they do? What do they do? Because I know that they're going to get so many people that go and use a product, and if it doesn't foam, they're not going to like it. So you could almost, if I was selling you a forensics detailing snow foam, if I made one that didn't foam, it's going to do badly. And if I made one that's really thick and foamy, it's going to do better because people are just going to show pictures of it with a thick foam on it. It's going to look really sexy in videos and all that sort of stuff. This is the dilemma that the industry has, but it's not a dilemma that I have. This is the worthy winner, and it is an awesome pre-wash product in so many ways. So powerful, wicked stuff. That is Bilt Hamber Autofoam, the winner of the snow foam comparison. Other than that, guys, let me know what products you like and what products you use, and why is very important to me. I can only really feasibly test 9, but I'll read the comments and I see which ones come up more often, and maybe we'll go again in another year's time. But I tell you what, if you can find a snow foam product which can match the performance of this stuff around about the same price per wash, something like that, it's going to be doing really, really well. So thank you very much for watching the snow foam comparison video. I'm going to be doing lots more stuff like this, guys. So if you've not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Take care, and I'll see you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.